Okay, guys. Okay. Back in the old days, I used to play music at the intro before I started my broadcast. That was like a routine. That's the anonymous theme song called Requiem for a Dream. See, I forgot. So yeah, of course I'm really playing it. Yeah, it's a kind of a tiny keyboard. It's tiny. So yeah, so I used to do that all the time, and I can't do it because my piano is not part of the studio anymore. But I used to have my broadcast where the piano is, and so I always start off the broadcast with a piano. So I can do it here for a little bit with this tiny little keyboard here. So you could use that for intro. Yeah. So if you can stand a couple of minutes of that. How many minutes did I play? A couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes. So that's an 8-year-old song. Yep. I'm being criticized now for age. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I used to broadcast with the Steinway over there in the other room, and so I'm not doing that anymore. My studio is it's in a different spot now. So and then as you know, my videos are actually done on my boat. So my boat is my office. So yeah, just peace and quiet and yeah. So COVID free. My office is COVID free because I'm the only one there. So yeah, we're gonna talk about. Oh, James Mason is like obsessed here. Yes, we're gonna talk about this. I got it here. We're gonna like act like we're doing a unboxing. It's obviously not unboxed. I already opened it, but that's what it comes with. So how are you doing, guys? How are you doing? Who cares about the truckers? What? Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna read this comments. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna talk about not the music that I just played, but about this Brax phone. So it comes in this box, guys and gals. It comes in this box. It's very nice. The box is actually magnetic. So look at that magnetic box. So they're getting. So this is very sophisticated. So that's how you open it. It's a magnetic box. So that's the sign of things to come. So we're gonna do that. Thank you, Steve M. Thank you. Okay. So well, all phones are made in China. So. That's nothing particularly new. Your iPhone is made in China. Your Pixel is made in China. So what are you telling me? Something new? Okay, so this is a very nice box, and we'll open it up. I actually didn't open it up completely, and I discovered things in it that I had no idea. So there's the box. Now, normally, of course, the phone here would be in plastic. However, it's not in plastic because I already opened it. So there's the phone. I'm going to show you that a little closer later on. But in here, there's the international power supply. So this works both in Europe and the US. So you get that kind of plug or this kind of plug. Okay, so it will work everywhere. So that comes with that. So we don't have to worry about shipping you the right plug. That's going to be included. Now, that's another thing in here. Another insert. Okay, so there's another thing in here. There's the SIM pin. So you have a SIM pin right there. Okay, and then if you open this up, which I never did before, and I discovered that there is a case. There's a case in it. It's included. So the case is included. So there's a case for it. It's a black case. Fits. Yep. I'll remove it for the demonstration, but yeah, so there's a black case. It also comes with a screen protector. Okay, so there's the phone with the case. If you want to see it closer up. The phone is the size of a Pixel XL or a Moto G7. Let me just do a comparison here. Let me find one here. Find one that's similar sized. Okay, here, this is a Pixel 4 XL. Pixel 4 XL. So you can see it's the exact same size. So it's an XL sized phone. Okay, so there's the case, there's the phone, there's the back. Okay, let me open it up. Okay, let me clean it up because it's smudged up with all this fingerprints here. So that's the back. Obviously you take off the label, but that's the IMEI and all that. And there's the front, and then we're going to turn it on. Okay, so the one thing that you're going to know with this phone is it has a fingerprint sensor. So I'm going to activate it with a fingerprint here. Okay. Now we're going to change this. Currently the icons are white. It's going to go back to colored icons. Okay, so that's part of the change, is to put colored icons on there. So yeah, so it's pretty much your normal Android, but there's a lot of extra features in here. This phone, I'm going to give you the specs as you know, as I have it. This phone comes with Face ID, so it's Face ID or fingerprint plus the pattern. So you got 3 options for logging in. This is the new BraX2 phone. Okay, BraX2. So this is going to be a Brax branded phone. It's actually AOSP, Android open source. It's just branded Brax OS, but it's actually just Android open source with just minor UI changes to it, but it's basically Android open source. Okay, and the one thing that's going to happen with this phone, guys, is we're going to send you updates on the air for this phone, including changing to the next higher version. So if you know, on Lineage OS, you can't update from Lineage 17 to Lineage 18. If it's a major version, you cannot do an on-the-air update. You can with this. So we'll be doing on-the-air updates with these, and as well as security updates for as long as we're selling the phone. So yeah, so this is going to get updates. So that's plastic. That's not like glass or anything. It's plastic. If I'm going to compare it to this is glass. This is a Pixel 4 XL, which is quite a bit more expensive, by the way. This is glass. This is plastic. So that's plastic. Okay, this one, the Pixel is glass. It's about the same size. Okay, now some other features of this. This comes with a 4500 milliamp hour battery. Now that's pretty amazing actually, because these guys, the Pixel, comes with 3500 milliamp hour batteries. These are only 3500 milliamps. This comes with 4500 milliamps. Okay, so that's going to have a longer battery life. Now the other thing that is interesting about the Brax phone here, Brax X2 phone, is first of all, because it's running AOSP or degoogled, this is a degoogled open source OS. What's happening is this phone already lasts, Pixel, which is only 3,500 milliamp hours. This already lasts 2 days. I haven't tested it, but this has to last more than 2 days because it has a bigger battery. Okay, so that's pretty great to have a phone that lasts over 2 days. Okay, now the big feature of this phone is the camera. Now I can't really show you a picture here, it's dark, but let me just tell you about the specs of the camera, which is like incredible. The camera is 8K. This is an 8K camera. It's 48 megapixels. 48 megapixels for the back camera. 48 megapixels. I mean, this is nowhere near 48 megapixels. I think this is 24. The front camera is 12 megapixels. I'm sure this front camera is 8. Okay, so your black view lasts 10 days. Yeah, if you don't use it, this don't compare non-Android phones that don't do anything to an Android phone that has all these graphics on it. So this is on normal use. This will last 2 days, with actual use of the screen. The screen is very bright. It's FHD plus. It's not OLED. Now the problem with OLED screens is that if you use OLED, it has screen burn. So that's the OnePlus 7 Pros. They have screen burn. This does not do that because it's not OLED. It's FHD plus, which is very bright, but not bright enough to cause screen burn. Okay, now next, just because there's a lot to say about this phone, I just can't remember everything. This phone is dual SIM. Now, I told you about the fact that you need at least 2 phone numbers, one separate phone number for two-factor authentication. Dual SIM. Problem solved. Problem solved. You could run the 2 SIMs at the same time. And then the two-factor authentication will go to the other SIM. And then your main stuff will go to the main SIM. So dual SIM. If you are not using dual SIM, you can put your own micro SD card. So somebody says, well, how much space does it have? This one is 128 gigabytes, which also is very good. 128 gigabytes, but that's without the second SIM. If you put it, that's without the SD card. So you can put a micro SD card of any size. So you can put a terabyte in there if you want, and you would have whatever size you want. You're actually not limited. So it will be 128 gigabytes plus whatever you want to add in the micro SD card. But you can't use it with dual SIM. If you're going to use an SD card, then it's only one SIM. Okay, so 128 gigabytes. What else? This one does not work with Verizon. It only works with GSM carriers, which is AT&T and T-Mobile. So Verizon. So today, the only phone with an exception in the world is Verizon. This phone will work anywhere in the world except for Verizon. Okay, let's just make that clear. The only carrier will not work with is Verizon. It will work with any carrier in the world. So I've tested it. I've tested it on T-Mobile. It works fine. So in fact, I just transferred the SIM card from my other T-Mobile phone and my other Ting phone. So Ting and T-Mobile, yeah, it works fine. Those are ones I have, and no problem. So there you go. Now what else? What else are we gonna do here? So it has support for voice over LTE, which is, it's important to note, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a problem phone. Hold on. Signal slowed down here. Okay. So voice over LTE is supported. and 4G LTE. So it's a 4G phone with voice over LTE. So that should last a very long time. That should be compatible with everything for a long time. Let's see, what is the RAM on this? I don't have that answer for you right now. I can't recall what the RAM is. Whatever it is, it's good enough. Okay. You don't normally notice RAM issues because it's pretty it's already pretty powerful. So I would consider this a mid-level phone. This is not as powerful as let's say an iPhone Pro, 13 Pro. So it's mid-level, but that's okay because the price is good. So like a Pixel or an iPhone is what, 800, 900 bucks, right? With this much memory, even more. With this kind of camera, even more. So so I'll tell you the price later. What else? So this is running a quad core. Forget the it's a believe a quad core 2.1 gigahertz M73 and M73 and 853 quad core CPU. So I think that's the same chipset as the same kind of chipset, similar to it's like a more powerful version of the Librem 5. So this is much higher clock speed. So what else? I'm just trying to think of what else the good points are. Okay, now the only negative here is it's USB-C only. There is no headphone jack. Okay, so as you know, very few phones now have headphone jacks. So in like 2022 models, it's very hard to find ones with headphone jacks unless you get a Pixel 4a. So, okay, so what else? So, like I said, 48 megapixel rear camera, 12 megapixel front camera. Let's see, what other specs have I missed there? Tell me what else I've missed. I don't know. It's not waterproof. It does not have a wireless charging. There's no wireless charging, no headphone jack, and no, it is not waterproof. All phones are manufactured in China, so I don't have to tell you if you have a phone and it's manufactured in China. All phones are manufactured in China. So if you're saying, "Oh, why do you have your phone manufactured in China?" Well, where else you're going to manufacture it? That's that's where all the chips are. Okay, so this is made by my OEM partner. So an OEM partner made it custom for Brax. So that's why it's Brax OS. Okay? So, yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. It's made in China because everything else is. Does it support AT commands? Well, it supports ADB and all that. But can Bluetooth be disabled? I believe so, actually. Yeah. You can do it on all the Androids anyway, but I believe so. In fact, I believe that even the camera can be disabled. GPS can be disabled too. So, can it read any of the 3 different GPS satellites? I don't know if it does GNSS. Probably does, because most chips now read both, especially the ones that are like generic. I believe so. Okay, what else did I? Any other question on? No, you don't have developer options. Well, there's the yeah, you have developer options. It is locked. It is OEM locked. You can unlock it, but would ask me. Somebody would ask me if it comes, bootloader locked. Yes, it comes to you bootloader locked. Okay, so it is bootloader locked. Not, on these Pixels, we cannot lock the bootloader because Google doesn't let us lock the bootloader in these. This is bootloader locked. This is not running Lineage OS. It's running AOSP. Okay, so this is not running Lineage OS. So just so you know, okay, it's AOSP, and we control it. So we can control the updates. We can update it anytime there's anything up. We control the updates on the air. There's no smart AI. This is the thing about open source software. So on Android AOSP, there's none of that crap that I talked about on Apple. None of that exists. There's no AI stuff that is going to spy on you. By the way, look at the case. It looks like a leather pattern there. It looks like it's plastic, but it looks like leather. It looks like stitching, right? So it's nice looking. So my OEM partner here did a good job. They did a good job here. Okay. It actually feels like leather. But it's plastic. It's soft. It's kind of a soft plastic. Okay. So what else? Any more questions? How can you produce an AOSP phone? Well, you get AOSP from Android open source project. You compile it and you modify it for your phone model. That's what every vendor does. Anyone who makes phones, that's what they do. And then the only step that they do after that is they then put in the Google code over it. So good grip texture, yes. Okay, so the price on this, since we're coming to the half an hour mark, is $379. So this is not that $500 Freedom phone. This is $379. Okay? $379. That's very reasonably priced. So I was trying to see what I can do with the price, and at the moment that's my price break. If you buy more, if you buy more, then maybe the price will go down in the future. But that's what is the price Canadian? Come on. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Canadian price is. That's the price in US dollars. Is that yes, I mean, look, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, this is the same price as my cheapest phones used. My Pixel 3, which is used, not brand new, sells for $399. This is even cheaper than that. Okay, this is cheaper than a Pixel 3 that I sell used. So okay, so we're not done yet because we're updating the icons and things. So some minor updates still to be done, and then hopefully we'll get it ready in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Have you done any durability test? Well, I mean, it's plastic. What do you mean durability test? Are you going to go drop it and break it? Obviously, it's like any other phone. Okay. So when is it available? Okay, so it the date I'm promising for now, the expected release date is March 1, which is in about little over 4 weeks, right? But it's likely it might be ready in 3 weeks. Oh, this will work anywhere. This will work in Canada. This will work in the UK. Work in Europe, anywhere. So, um, would it support a USB-C headset? Yes, of course it will support a USB-C headset. If you don't have a USB-C headset, you put an adapter for 3.5 millimeter on the bottom, and that will work too. Okay, so I hope not a COVID cough. I already got COVID. Okay, I don't know what the GPU is software. So, or I mean, software control. I don't know what the GPU is, but it looks the way it's running. It's it's very you know, if you check, you can kind of like see what the GPU is just from me doing that. Is it slow? Is it dragging? Is it doing something that, you know? I mean, that's pretty responsive, just like what you expect on a normal phone. It doesn't seem to be slower than anything like a Moto G7 Plus or anything like that. Give me time to save up for it. USB-C is good. Okay, CPU is I believe it's on the. I have it on BraxV, but it's a quad core, an M73 or an A53. There's two kinds of chips on there. So I can't remember the RAM. I can't remember the RAM. So you're going to do a real review? Well, I'm already showing you. So I've been using it. So I don't know what the GPU that's in it. But like I said, just look at the responsiveness and you can see that's no Pine phone. When you run like a Pine phone or a Librem 5, it kind of drags because that there's not enough power in there. This does not have that. It's like a normal Android. Does it give reach around? What does that mean? If I can install my own app. Well, of course you can install your own apps, but there is no Google Store here. This is the Google phone. So the only apps you have are what you get with the Google phones, meaning you can use F-Droid, you can use Aurora Store, or you can download apps from apkpure.com. So not all apps work. Go watch my Google video. It's the same as the Pixel 3 Google. Same. Whatever apps you can install on this, you can install on this. Exact same stuff. Okay, but this one has a few more controls. For example, you can actually configure if apps are allowed to work in the background. Let's see. You can configure which SIM card is going to be used for texting, which SIM card is going to be used for talking, which SIM card is going to be used for data. You can configure that. Like I said, it has Face ID, fingerprint, plus pattern, which the other ones do not have. Often on these Lineage OS phones, the Face ID is disabled. So here it's actually usable. So you can use everything. So let's see. Trying to remember here. So this is more secure because of all those added features than the Lineage OS one. But I mean, this is obviously a more expensive phone. It's almost twice the price. This is a Google 4 XL, 128 gigabytes, and this one is all glass. It's a lot heavier too. So if you compare the two, the Pixel is a lot heavier because it's glass. Okay, so you break that, that's more costly. Is it any better? Well, from what I'm seeing, no. But, obviously, these were expensive phones to begin with. So, How much storage does it have? It's 128 gigabytes, plus you can put in your own micro SD card. The battery is not removable, no. Thank you, README. In Brax OS mainstream or something Rob made himself, or if he's designed it as a honeypot, you're giving a chat and then you're not saying a nice thing. Fingerprint ID is on the side, so it's just totally, I mean, it's unobtrusive because you just tap the side, which is really neat. Doesn't occupy any space. So there's the fingerprint sensor right there. Okay, again, dual SIM. This is a dual SIM phone. Great hold, good question. What launching with Android 12? No, it is not. But we are, as we finish up, later Android versions, it will be OTA, on the air, updated. So we'll just keep updating it as we get done with Android versions. Okay, so. Does it have a stylus pen? No. Okay, you buy them from me. This is custom Brax phone, so you can buy from any place else. Okay, so yeah, it's a custom Brax phone. So obviously the software is customized to me. So as I, configured it with the OEM manufacturer. So I told them what I want in it, and that's what they made. Can you make a phone without internet access? Internet access is up to you to disable the internet access if you don't want. Nobody forces you to have internet access. Can I read the screen in bright sunlight? Yes, you should be. It's FHD plus. It's quite bright. It's a very bright screen. In fact, I'm not even near maximum brightness here, but let me see here. Where's the brightness? Yeah, it's quite bright. You should be able to read it anywhere. Yes, it's not OLED. Prism free. What do you mean by prism free? Which prism are we talking about? The 3-letter agency prism? Okay, so my kid can't be trusted. Then don't give him internet. Don't pay for it. I need a phone like the Galaxy. Well, you're not going to get the Google phone with a Samsung. Will Verizon be offered? No. If you want Verizon, you got to do the Google Pixels. These are the only ones that I have that are compatible with Verizon. All Google Pixels are compatible with Verizon. Okay, before I go on here, I just want to take a short moment here to mention my sponsor, which is Linode. So, as you know, my main sponsor for the last almost couple of years now has been just Linode. I don't have many sponsors. People are asking me for sponsorship every day, and I don't accept them. And the reason I don't hesitate with Linode, because I myself am a heavy Linode user. So if you want to have servers and you're thinking about where to put your servers, you think about GoDaddy or AWS or any of those, and you will find that those other options are more expensive, and you will find that they kind of ignore you. So if you want a company that actually offers cheaper prices for their servers with no cheating, it's all clear what you're going to pay for, some as low as $5 a month for a small server. You can't even do that on Amazon. Amazon will fake you out and say, oh, we have this one for $20 a month, and then they charge you for bandwidth, and before too long you don't realize it, you're up to a lot more than what you expected. So with Linode you don't have that. So okay, so just if you're interested in servers, check them out. And if you go to linode.com/RobBraxman, they'll give you $100 credit for 2 months that you can use when you sign up. Okay, so what else is the question? There is actually no more CDMA. So no CDMA no longer exists. Sprint, which was the other CDMA carrier, was bought by T-Mobile, but CDMA as a technology is no longer offered anywhere. So the issue with CDMA is it's not with Verizon. It's not the CDMA. It's because the frequencies used by Verizon was based on CDMA frequencies. They're reusing CDMA frequencies. They're using 4G LTE like anyone else, but because they're using those frequencies, most phones are not geared to work with Verizon frequencies unless you use a Qualcomm chip. So these chips are not Qualcomm because they're probably going to be more expensive. Okay, so just to make that clear. Can we pre-order? No need to pre-order. Just it'll be available in 3 weeks or so. Okay, it'll be on my store. I'll announce it here. Just count 3 weeks from now before March 1, and I believe I should be able. If my initial order gets sold out, I should be able to get a second order pretty quickly. So we're not going to be subject to supply chain issues, I do not think. Okay. What are you talking about there? That display 60, 90, 120 hertz. Are you talking about the display? I don't actually know. How is this not better than GrapheneOS? What is the actual selling point to GrapheneOS? The only thing that they've been lately been able to say is that they locked the bootloader. Well, this is a locked bootloader. Okay, so beyond that, what's the actual difference? Don't tell me about malloc and all those functions that there's not even a threat that actually uses that. Okay, so I don't know the memory. It is not waterproof. It's not IP68. It's not waterproof. So which of those phones doesn't work with Verizon? I'm lost. I thought Pixels couldn't use Verizon SIM cards. Who told you that? Your information is wrong. Let me repeat. Okay, Motorola's and OnePlus, which are the only ones I sell here, Motorola's and OnePlus, do not work with Verizon. The only phones that work with Verizon, I'm going to repeat this often here so you just be clear. The only phones that work with Verizon are Pixels. So I have a ton of Pixels. I will never run out of Pixels. So if you want Verizon, you use a Pixel. Pixels are more expensive. The cheapest Pixel is a Pixel 3, which is $399. This phone, brand new, is $379. The Pixel 3 is used. Can it be fully rooted? Well, it's OEM locked, so I mean you can root it if you're inside the phone. Does it take a It uses a micro SD card. Micro SD card. Can you disable or uninstall any app? Yes. You mean like the factory installed ones? Well, there's no weird factory installed apps on here. So let's see what here. There's a factory installed. Yeah, the factory installed ones cannot be uninstalled, but there's nothing. What would you uninstall? You want to uninstall the calculator? I mean, no, it does. There's no weird like apps. It's just the basics, like DuckDuckGo is the browser. and the search engine is DuckDuckGo. And there's contacts, dialer, calculator, calendar, clock, notes, camera, and then plus the apps that file manager, plus the apps that I install. I mean, there's nothing you're going to want to uninstall. Can I install SMS? No, but you don't have to use SMS. It's up to you. Is the phone dual SIM single standby? I believe both of them can work, and you actually specify. I've never used dual SIM in my life, so I can't tell you, you know, how that actually works in real life. But I'm going to tell you right now that when you go to the network settings, I'm going to show you. So there you get the option to select to keep both SIM cards active, okay? And then you see it has the preference which SIM card is preferred for mobile data, calls, and SMS messages. You can specify by SIM card. So it looks very functional to me. So for 2FA use, then you would say, yeah, I prefer using the SMS. Well, for incoming, I guess it doesn't matter. It'll go to wherever. But I'm talking about outgoing. So outgoing, sorry, I'm having a slowdown here in the signal. Did you know single modem means only one SIM is active and working at once, but can receive on both? Again, like I said, I've not. You can see the setting on here. Why would you install Malwarebytes? Yes, you can install any VPN. OpenVPN is pre-installed. The SoC is it's a quad core. Like I don't have it memorized, but it's on BraxMe. I posted it on there. It's quad core with I believe A73 and A53, or is it M? See, I can't remember. I can't remember right this moment. Rock PDX. Some models of Moto G7 were private labeled by Verizon, so you may be lucky with that, but you can't really buy them knowing that they'll work with Verizon. This definitely will not work with Verizon because it's not a Qualcomm chip. I know the chip is not Qualcomm. Yes, I'm running it on Tim. It's running Ting right now. It's ting.com. Okay. Now, so right now it is on Ting, and then T-Mobile runs fine. Oops, sorry. Okay, hold on. Signal hung there. Okay, I'm just letting the internet settle down here. It's probably buffered you there for a moment. Okay, I'm sure we're back now. So yes, so I'm using Ting.com on it right now, and I tested with T-Mobile. So T-Mobile hotspot is with your carrier, so it should support hotspot fine. Hotspot is a option. Yeah, hotspot. Yeah, there's a hotspot option. Okay. How much dollar for the phone? It's $379. So it's pretty inexpensive, brand new phone. Brand new. It's not used. It's brand new. 48 megapixel camera. 128 gigabytes. Plus you can add your own micro SD card. Dual SIM. So, I mean, that's, yeah, there's a lot of options here. So, look real close. You're rambling. Well, if I'm rambling, then you don't have to be here. Nobody's forcing you to be here. Can Telegram be installed? Yes, of course. Somebody's actually calling this number. I can't believe it. First of all, nobody knows this number. Unless one of you guys saw the number and started dialing it. Okay, so yeah. What else? Dual boot on Windows CE. That's funny. No headphone jack. No wireless charging. Not waterproof. Not for $379. You're not going to get that for $379. Does it hotspot? Yes. I just showed you that. Hotspot. Third from the bottom, hotspot. And then here's the SIM card options where you can choose a slot for 2 SIM cards. SIM card 1, SIM card 2, and then what you prefer the SIM card to do. I'm sending a audio signal here. It's very clear. Right now it is. What phone is it based on? It's not based on any. It's not based on any phone. It's not. If you're thinking it's a private label of a Moto or anything like that, no, it's not. It's actually a custom designed phone. It's a custom design. It doesn't match any existing phone model. It's not taken from a OnePlus or a G7 or anything like that. Hello, I'm from Microsoft. I'm from Microsoft. Okay, where can I buy the Pixel phone from you? You can buy from my store. Who the heck keeps calling here? It's like, Zuck. So let me just turn off the volume so whoever this idiot is that's calling us live, we don't have to listen to the ringing. Okay. Okay, wait, let me show you how when it starts. So you see what it looks like. So that's how it starts. Okay. Now we're going to be changing the icons. Like I said, currently the icons are black and white. We're going to change it back to color. Screen resolution is I believe it's 1080p for a small screen. So yeah, it's very clean. It's a locked bootloader. But you can let's see. I believe I unlocked the bootloader here. It comes locked. But let me just check here to see if I enable developer options. No, right now developer options are off. If you reset the phone, if you hit reset, it's fine. You can keep resetting as often as you want, and then you have to reinstall the apps, but otherwise you don't have to send it back to us. And we can update your phone remotely with on-the-air updates. So yes, I no longer have uh, developer options here. So let me show you that there is developer options. So it's just like normal Android. It does have developer options. So let's see, where's that? System. Where the heck did I go? Developer options. Like live here, I don't see developer options when I'm live. You know what? When I put in fingerprint, it doesn't allow me to go. So I guess you have to disable the fingerprint to go to developer option. It won't let me. Now that I put developer option, it won't let me do that. Okay, so it doesn't say much on here. You know, let me block the IMEI, but hold on, it's very difficult to show this while blocking IMEI. So it doesn't tell you much of anything because that's the way we customize it. Okay, so again, if not available in 2 colors, can you offer the back pieces separately in colors? No, I don't have that. It comes with the case. So the case comes with the phone, and it looks like that. So if your husband wants a different phone, what you do is you change your wallpaper. So then you'll know whose phone it is. Change the wallpaper. The battery is not removable now. Suck! Who the heck is this? Okay, so you know, in case you forget the way I do this, my SIM cards are disposable. So somebody has somebody's phone number, and they're calling this phone number. This is just my 2FA phone number. Let's see what else. Okay, so if you to get the information about the phone, go to BraxMe, the BraxMe app, or the website BraxMe, sign up, and then you can see in the store all the phones that are available. Of course, I still have, especially if you're on Verizon or you want to have higher end phones, I do have the higher end Pixel 4 XLs, the Pixel 5s, Pixel 4a's, Pixel 4a 5Gs. All of those. So all of those are still on the store. They're higher end phones. They're much more expensive. Some maybe one of you saw the phone number, and did I show the phone number? If so, then you're wasting your time because I'm never going to answer the phone. This phone number is not for answering. This is only for 2FA. So call it over and over, and I'm going to say duck you, because it's never going to get answered. So, yeah. So we're not in the answering phone business. How much work does it take on your end to make an OTA update? It's all automated. We have a server that handles the OTA updates. Okay, so the OTA updates are handled by a server. So when the programmers are done with the version, we upload it to the server will kick it out to you. I do not know about NFC. Okay, so there are programmers working on, whatever Android version or changes to the Android version. And so when there's a new version, we put it on the OTA server, and the OTA server will send it out to you guys. So yeah, so it's a lot more organized than Lineage OS, because Lineage OS, the updates are by phone model. So if the supporter of the sponsor of the Lineage OS version stops doing updates, like if nobody's using a phone anymore, then nobody gets an update. So it's all decided by the person who runs the project. Well, we run this project, so we're not tied to a third-party entity, so we know if we can update it. Okay? Let's see. I think he meant how much work for the ones building the Android updates. I think he meant how much work for the ones building the Android updates. Does it matter to you? I mean, that's up to the programmers. Obviously even I could do that. I mean, I can compile the Android and make my own updates, but fortunately, the OEM partner does that. This is amazing how many people are calling this number. So maybe did I accidentally show the number? He's just trying to help with your privacy. It's a nice phone. The one I mentioned is old style 4G flip phone. Is LineageOS trustworthy? Of course LineageOS is trustworthy because LineageOS is open source. If it's open source, it is trustworthy. I mean, that's common sense. Is Apple iOS trustworthy? Hell no. That's what my last video was about. Is Google Android trustworthy? Hell no. Google Android is not open source. The only open source operating systems are Linux Phone OSs, and none of them are actually running well, and Android open source project, which is this. There's no other option, and this is the only one that's actually usable because it runs regular apps, most of the regular apps. It will run 90% of the regular apps. Okay, who is your OEM partner? My OEM partner is my OEM partner. What is that your business? You're not my partner. How about this? My OEM partner is not in China. Okay? Actually, my OEM partner is in Europe. So I actually buy this from Europe. Okay? So just so you know. These are actually, I buy them from my OEM partner in Europe. Yes, I know it's built in China, but the programmers and everybody else who is part of this project is in Europe, not in China. Okay, so if that's any indication, Korea okay? Physical switches for sensors? No, this is not a Librem 5. It's an Android. Androids don't have that. Brax is Zuck's step uncle. Can you do banking on a Google phone? Why not? Some banks require Google services. Some. I told you I ran Bank of America, it didn't run. I ran West Fargo, ran. I ran Chase, it ran. PayPal runs, all that runs. So there's some that do not run as an app, runs fine on the browser. So Bank of America, if you use that, go use the browser. It works fine. Okay, so yeah, it's like, for example, one of the apps that we know does not work on the Google phones is Uber. And of course, YouTube doesn't work and all these, anything Google doesn't work. But Uber doesn't work, Lyft doesn't work. Is that a problem? No, you use the fucking browser. You can use the browser. So it's not like you're stuck somewhere. Oh my gosh, I can't use Uber. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck here. No, use the fucking browser. It does work. The banking works. There's a browser. Almost everything where you can't load the app, use the browser. It works fine. Okay? That's a good point. If your bank requires, Google services, maybe you get another bank. That's correct. VPN. Load your own VPN. It comes with OpenVPN. It's preloaded. Can you disable fingerprint or face recognition? Well, of course. That's your choice. You don't have to enable it. It's just there. I try out Brax phones for my family of 4. Does it Somebody, I already answered the Uber question. Okay. Okay, so any more repeated questions? Again, I'm going to repeat it again. It's 128 gigabytes, dual SIM with the option for a micro SD card of whatever size you want. It has a 48 megapixel camera. It's so fucking sharp. It's really, really sharp. It's 8K. 8K video, 8K camera. It's like incredibly sharp and bright. I can't believe how bright it is. And the front-facing camera is 12 megapixel. 12 megapixel is the same as, in fact, my Sony full APC camera here is 12 megapixel. I mean, that's how many megapixels were. Yes, YouTube Vance works. New pipe is preloaded. Yes. What else did I say about it? So, dual SIM. Comes with a case. There's the case. Comes with it. Comes with a charger for any country, because it comes with a charger that can be reconfigured for your country. So there's the charger. It can go this way for the US and Canada, I believe. And then it can go like that for Europe. Okay, so you got a couple options there. And that comes with it, plus the cable, plus the case. And a screen protector. There's a screen protector as well. And a SIM pin. Okay. Yes, I said YouTube Vance work. So $379 is the pricing. Okay, now having said all that, I don't want to like discount these other phones here that work. Some of you may want the other phones. Like I have Moto G7 Plus phones. Now, what's the difference with the Moto G7 Plus? A Moto G7 Plus has a headphone jack. Those get loaded with Lineage OS. This is a Google Pixel 4 XL. It's glass. Very heavy. Okay, this is what's the top of the line from Google before. And then they have the 4A and 4A 5G, which I have here as well, and the Google 5. The pricing, just so you understand, the pricing, these are, I believe this is $720, this phone, and then the Pixel 5 is like $799 maybe. It's close to $800. Okay, so these are much more expensive phones. So if you want these kind of classy phones made of glass, then you stick to the Google Pixels, and they work with Verizon. So these are the only ones. Google Pixels are the only ones that work with Verizon. This is only $379. So I mean, it's not waterproof. Yes, this is waterproof. That's part of what you pay for. A Google Pixel is waterproof. It doesn't come with a headphone jack either, though. Okay, so that's part of the pricing. Waterproof phones are more expensive. Okay, so you hate smartphones. Okay, what else did I miss there? It does not come with wireless charging. The Pixel does. This comes with wireless charging. So yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. So the difference in price reflects, difference in features. Can battery be replaced? Well, of course, batteries can be replaced. Just like any phone, you can open it up and then replace the battery. I'm sure it's a standard battery. What's your recommended web browser? The phone comes, all of the phones that come from us are shipped with DuckDuckGo as the browser. So maybe for yourself you want the fancy Pixel. Okay, so you get one of these fancy Pixels, and then I myself use a Pixel. So, okay, so this is my phone. I kind of like smaller phones. So this is a Pixel 4a. So this is 2021 model. So this is a Pixel 4a. It's a lot smaller, as you can see. Okay, this is running Lineage OS. And basically functionally they're exactly the same. There's no difference in functionality as far as apps and all that. That's the same. What's different is that this one has the Face ID and the fingerprint option, whereas that's disabled on the Google Pixels. So these don't have that. DuckDuckGo has a browser. 3.5 millimeter has a better sound quality. Okay, now, interesting thing is that this is the non-waterproof version of a Google Pixel. So this is actually kind of the cheaper Google Pixel, the 4a. It's not cheap, but it's the cheaper version. They put in all the power and then they drop the price. And one of the reasons they dropped the price is it's not waterproof. So this is not waterproof either, but it does have, this is really funny, that Google added the 3.5 millimeter jack on here. So if you want that, it's a Pixel 4a. But it has a fixed memory of 128 gigabytes and whatever camera it comes with. You can't modify. Okay, so again, there's a difference in pricing, and the pricing reflects different features. So yes, the Pixels are more expensive. They come with higher quality features like wireless charging, more software for the camera and stuff like that. What are you doing? When are you doing comparison with Copper OS and other more secure, proven OSs? No, I don't really buy that. Read me. You're all just wanting to to trigger me here, because I'm not interested in comparing Copperhead OS with Graphene, which Graphene came from Copperhead OS, and comparing it to Calyx OS and Havoc and this and that and all these different ones, because it doesn't matter. This is the stupidity of it all. Some people on the internet, especially on Reddit, they have their own pet project. Okay, who cares about the pet projects? I'm only interested in the privacy aspect. And in the privacy side of things, you do not have to worry about Lineage OS. Lineage OS is just fine. I've been using Lineage OS for years. And it is the most popular AOSP custom ROM. It's popular for a reason. This is AOSP. This is not Lineage. This is Lineage. Okay, is there any difference? No. They run the same thing. Okay, Lineage is open source. In fact, it's the basis for eFoundation. So Lineage is the most supported because there's the most models do Lineage OS. So a lot of these people say, oh, Graphene is more secure. Oh, Copperhead is more secure, and on and on and on, because Copperhead and Graphene are all fighting with each other. And, I don't like the people with Graphene, so I'm going to go with Calyx. It's like, who cares? None of this concerns me, okay? None of this concerns me. It shouldn't concern you. If I'm talking about it here, it must be okay. So here's the story, guys. Just straight from the horse's mouth here. I'm the horse. Okay? This is the real story here. I don't really care about any of that. As long as it's de-Googled, which is all AOSP without Google Apps, it's de-Googled, it is great. I meaning no Google Store, no Google Analytics, no Google anything. That is it. That's all you need. It doesn't matter who makes it. I don't care who makes it. I don't criticize and say, oh, graphene is bad. No, they're all good. Graphene is good. Calyx is good. All of that's good. Okay? They're all good. I use Lineage. It's good too. If you're gonna say, well, graphene people say that this such and such a feature because it's bootloader locked, and that is such fake news. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, it's such fake news. Let me just explain this to you, because the people who say this have not tried to hack a phone that is running Lineage. Do you know that you cannot do anything to a Lineage phone, even if it's bootloader unlocked? What are you going to do with a bootloader unlocked phone? You think you can access it? No. Anytime you mess with the image, because there's a signature, it actually checks the signature of the files in image when you boot. And if you modify anything, the phone will boot loop, and then it will force you to do a reset. It will boot loop, force a reset. Depends on the model. It depends on who made the phone. Different OEMs do different things. But the basic model is, if you mess with the bootloader in any way, it erases the data. So you can't steal any data on the phone. So the only purpose of boot loops, of an open bootloader, is that you can reflash the phone without going back, logging in, and do OEM unlock again. That's it. You go into settings and go to developer options and do OEM unlock. It's already unlocked anyway, so you just gotta click the switch. Okay, that's the only extra step. So they're saying, well, somebody could tamper with your phone. No, that's BS. You cannot tamper with the phone. It will wipe out the data. I've not found a way around that. I mean, we build this every day. We've done thousands of these phones, many thousands of these phones. We are a production line here. We flash phones with Lineage OS and other OSs, and to be frank with you, we haven't found a way around the fact that when you modify the bootloader, it causes the data to be erased. So you can't have your data stolen with an open bootloader. Can't. Okay? Now, if you want to just make sure you're secure, make sure you put a passcode, because the passcode will then force the encryption to not be breakable. Just put a passcode in. Can the phone come without Wi-Fi and Ethernet port instead? No. You turn it on and off on your own. There's a switch for it. I mean, what do you expect the phone to do? You don't have to use Wi-Fi. You can turn it off. They will work just fine anywhere in the world, especially Australia. The only limitation of this phone is it will not work with Verizon in the US. That is the only limitation. It will work anyplace else. Again, we're not done yet. We're changing the icons. Icons are white. We're going to change it to color. And then it's going to be all set to go. Okay? And then just some setup here of our servers to handle the OTA, which we have to do ahead of time. And then the phones have to be preset to the way we want it with our apps, and then it's ready to go. Okay? It looks like a Helio P70. I don't know what that is. I don't know what a Helio P70 is. Want a close-up view? Okay, I don't know what a Helio P70 is. Never heard of one. Who makes it? Okay, yeah, there's no more CDMA actually, but don't say Verizon GSM, because Verizon, there's no GSM either. You're incorrect, Steve. There is no GSM either. GSM and CDMA are just a partitioning by frequency today. So when we say GSM carrier, we're saying AT&T and T-Mobile because they're using a different set of frequencies from the CDMA carriers, even though all of them are using 4G LTE. So no, Verizon is not GSM because there's no GSM, and Verizon is no longer CDMA either. Okay, so those terms are no longer accurate, but they are a grouping based on frequency allocation. And at the moment, Verizon is unique in its frequency allocation because they're using CDMA frequencies. Otherwise, the technology itself is 4G LTE. The phone battery is replaceable, but it's not removable. Well, all phone batteries can be replaced. It's not. There's no voice over IP app pre-installed. You can install your own voice over IP app, Viber or whatever. You can install whatever you want. It will run with anything that's AT&T and T-Mobile, which is just about, majority of the MVNOs. There's a scammer here. It's called Daniel Wilson. He's scamming you all. The battery on this is 4,500 milliamps. 4,500 milliamp hours. The battery on a Pixel is 3,500 milliamp hours. Okay, so this is the Brax phone has a bigger battery. So, and a better camera. It's like I said, it's an 8K camera. 48 megapixels. So a standard Google Pixel, the battery life for 3,500 milliamp hours. So I'm getting confused. For 35 milliamp hours, my Google Pixel lasts for 2 days. All of my Google Pixels. So this is one of my Google Pixels. So at 3,500 amp hours, this lasts for 2 days. This one is 4,500 amp hours. So it's one of the higher size battery, larger size batteries. So it's a larger size battery than normal. If you're using a standard Google Android, the battery life is no more than a day. Military discount? No. Where's the spy tech? Counter spy tech. I do not have a mini version. If you want a mini version, stick to the Google Pixels. I personally like the mini version, so that's what I have. Okay. So I'm using a Google Pixel, which is the same size. This is a 4A, which is the same size as a Google Pixel 3. So Google Pixel 3 is $399. This one is this one is the Brax phone. It's going to be $379. So very, very reasonably priced. Brand new. No, you cannot take batteries out. Okay, so the I can't remember what the RAM is right now. I don't want to tell you something that's incorrect. But the storage is 128 gigabytes. Does it compare to the OnePlus 7? OnePlus 7 is glass. This one is not glass. Other than that, it will compare to a OnePlus 7. So let me see. Do I have a OnePlus 7 here? I don't have a OnePlus 7 next to me right here, but a OnePlus 7 is glass. So, and it's like thinner at the edges. So quality-wise, yeah, it size-wise is close to the same size, yes. Okay. What you're saying about eFoundation? What is different between Brax OS and AOSP? Nothing. No, it is using AOSP, but we did just some UI, putting logos and all that. It's AOSP. We put logos, put apps in. It's AOSP. There's nothing else modified. Okay, it's standard AOSP. We put logos in, stuff like that. Nothing significant. So we will send updates as long as we're selling it. So yeah, so we will probably send you updates longer than anybody else. That's what I think. You cannot take chips out. It's chip. There's no separate chip nowadays. It's an SoC. I mean, it's a tiny motherboard SoC. I mean, oh, I'm going to take Wi-Fi off. Or how are you going to do that? You cannot do that. Okay, it's embedded in the circuitry. Performance should be, yeah, I'm going to say performance is going to be comparable to a OnePlus 7. Just from what I'm, from using it, it looks like a OnePlus 7. In fact, I would say Pixel 4 even. I mean, I don't really see any difference in performance with a Pixel 4. How to send update? We send the update. We have an OTA server. Your phone's going to connect to our server and say, is there an update? And we would say there's an update, and you get an update. And I control it. I control it. Okay? So my company controls it. It'll be on a Linode server. How about that? So the Linode server will be the OTA server. And then when we trigger an update on the OTA server, you guys are going to be downloading from Linode. So there you go. Built-in voice changer. Okay. Take out chipset. What a trip. Oppos are good but overpriced. You sell used phones. Yeah, so the Pixel 4s are used. Because obviously you can't get these new without Google. You buy them with Google new. So in order to make them sellable, we have to add our cost to this plus the time it takes to change the OS. So they're often a year old. So this is the other one. This is a 4A. This is a Pixel 4A. Running Lineage OS. Okay, so just to give you a size comparison. So this is the size of a Pixel XL, and that's the size of a Pixel 4. Non-XL sized. Okay, so there. I like the smaller phones myself. We all have different preferences. It should work with anything that supports AT&T and T-Mobile. I am good. Thanks. All stocked here. Yeah, there's a micro SD slot. Yes. Any Ubuntu Touch phones coming? No, there's just such a problem with the Linux side. Really frustrating. They can't get supply. They can't solve the hardware problem. So, yeah, it's too bad. It's like a missed opportunity. It's somebody failed somewhere. So at the moment, there's really not too many options. You have to get a Google phone. There's no alternative. When do the phones go live for sale? So the official date's going to be March 1, but it might be selling before that. Maybe in 3 weeks or less. No 3A smaller. I don't have, of the Brax phone, no. The Brax phone only comes in one size. Probably at the end of the year, there'll be another model of this. So that's being worked on. So it'll be a higher end model by the end of the year. Like every year, people have to expect that there's always a new model every year. Okay. Is having a Google phone only limited to certain models? Yes, that is the problem. You cannot de-Google everything because somebody has to support it. And somebody has to be a developer that commits to making a version that supports that phone model. And that means most people will buy the phone models that they like to use. So the more obscure the model is, then no one's going to make a Lineage OS version for it, in which case it's not going to get supported unless the manufacturer itself or the OEM supports AOSP. In this case, this custom phone was made for AOSP. So it's originally made for AOSP, not for Google. So because of that, it's completely compatible. Everything works. All the features all the functions for the phone are tested to work. Not like when you get some other phone that's running Lineage, you're at the mercy of the developer because it may not all work. So here everything works. Okay, so I'm running out of time here. So anyway, this is an option. It's an inexpensive option. Not telling you that this is the only option. I mean, to be honest with you, some of you should get the fancier pixels. I mean, you have to make your choice. And some of you may want the Moto G7 Plus because you like the one with a headphone jack. Okay, so performance-wise, the Moto G7 Plus and this are probably comparable. The camera's better on Brax OS phone. Okay? It is not 5G. No, it is not 5G. It's 4G. Now, 4G, 5G, there's no real 5G. Okay, so again, I said this in a prior video. There is no real 5G. The current 5G that they call 5G is actually 4G advanced, which means they're just doing multiple channels of LTE. So it's still LTE. It's the same LTE, except they do multiple bands. So they transmit on multiple channels at once. That's what's called 5G. It's not really the 5G that I was expecting, So because of that, there really is no difference between 5G and 4G, except they have multiple antennas. So if you're thinking like a 4G phone is not going to be compatible, don't worry. It's not going to be an issue. Okay? 5G has very limited benefit to those that have access to an area that supports 5G and then can go higher speed. And that's going to be mostly in the big cities. Okay? So if you're not in a big city, you're not going to benefit from 5G anyway. So the Brax phone will be $379 coming in a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, $379. Okay, we are out of time, as Great Gold says. So I'll say goodbye now and watch next week's video. That's coming out on Wednesday every week. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.